Hello, my friends. I want to share with you an idea, and this idea has to do with how can we manage our emotions, and let's just say specifically toxic emotions. With what's going on in the world lately, I had to share this because I feel pain, I feel anger, I feel confusion, I feel frustration, I feel sadness, I feel helpless at times, and even in my personal life, from trauma I went through at a very young age, being in a car accident, almost losing my life, I will admit to all of you, I still deal with feelings of guilt and shame at times in my life. And recently I thought about this. How do I get through these emotions? And I wanted to share this idea with you. It's an acronym I call LIFT. It is 4 keys you can follow to deal with your emotions, no matter sadness, anger, frustration, confusion, depression, whatever the emotion is. Try this out. What does LIFT stand for, you might be asking? Well, it means 4 key strategies. Number 1 is to laugh. Number 2 is to remember that this is only temporary. Number 3, focus out. And number 4 is to talk to someone. Talk it out. I'm going to give you some examples of each of these. So number 1, laugh. Laugh at it. Laugh at the world. So I follow Og Mandino and the 10 Scrolls from the Greatest Salesman in the World, being a certified thought habit finder coach. And one of those scrolls is, today I will laugh at the world. Now, I know some of you might be asking yourself right now, how can anything going on in our world right now be funny? And I admit that it may be difficult to find humor in it, but let's just take this in a different context. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's somebody you work with. Maybe it is something that you're just really irritated about. And I'll just share an example where in work at times, this happens so often where I want to do something this way and somebody else wants to do something that way. And I start getting angry and I start getting frustrated and I start thinking to myself, why can't they just do it my way? Why can't we just be finished with this and go along with this plan and everything will be good? Well, what I sometimes remind myself is I need to take a step back and I need to remind myself in that moment that, is this really that serious? I mean, is this person really going out of their way to anger me, to tick me off, to make me frustrated? And can I just laugh at this? I mean, is this really that important? And when I do that, I actually take a step back and then I realize, you know what? 9 times out of 10, me and this other person, we want the same thing. We want the best outcomes. We're both trying to achieve something for everybody, which is going to make something, a process, a place, something better. And once I see it that way, I realize it's really not so serious after all. And I let go and I smile and I move on. The next thing I'd like to share with you is this idea that it's only temporary. Now, I know this has been a crazy year so far. We've had a pandemic. We've had a lot of racial tension in the United States and throughout the world. There's been other tensions going on. And from that, I know that it is really easy every day to just think about that and think about that and think about that. But what I would like you to do is to remind yourself that it is temporary. This is a season. There are seasons that we experience every year. There's spring, there's fall, there's winter, there's summer. Just like a season on the calendar, there are seasons of life. There are seasons of challenge. There are seasons of transition. And if we continue to look at these things as being temporary, then we know that this too shall pass. The other thing I think about when it's temporary is I think about some of the biggest challenges I've gone through my entire life. I've gone through loss. I've gone through a divorce. I've gone through financial challenges, work challenges, people challenges, event challenges. But with all of those, even in my darkest hours, I remind myself that this is not going to last forever. Even when it seems like it's going to last forever, I remind myself when I'm in the middle of a really tough challenge, when was another time in my life that I was going through a challenge and I somehow got through it and it passed on. And that gives me some renewed hope. The next idea that I want to share with you is to focus out. Focus out is very simple. It means exactly what it says. Have you ever noticed when you're really wrapped up in anything, depression, anger, sadness, fear, it's a really self-consuming, self-centered place to be. We're focusing on me, instead of focusing outward. So when we focus outward, there's so many ways to do that. Oh my gosh, read a book, read something that's inspirational, walk, do some activity, talk to somebody, get out of where you are and just remember that you have a choice in this moment to stay stuck in that emotion, or you have a choice to move forward. The last thought is one of the thoughts I just gave you, and that is to talk to someone. Now, I admit, even me, I might sit here right now and I might be looking to all of you like I've got it going on, I'm put together, I'm confident, I feel great, I'm assertive, but underneath it all, I don't feel like that all the time. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, I deal with emotion, I deal with guilt, I deal with shame, I deal with a lot of different emotions that you may be dealing with right now too. And the last way that I'd suggest that you get through this is to talk to somebody. Why is it that we have to look like everything is so well and so put together? I have found that talking to somebody, as simple as that may seem, is something I often forget to do. But when I do talk to somebody, number one, I can use that person as a sounding board. I can let go of the things I'm talking about. I notice when I talk about things and I get through it with somebody else, once I'm listening, when I'm talking about it, I don't know about you, but sometimes it almost sounds silly. Why am I thinking like this? Why am I feeling like this right now? You start hearing yourself talk and you realize whatever you're going through is not near as serious or as challenging as you might think it is. And the awesome thing about talking to somebody else is I feel like you physically are letting it go and you are allowing that other person to step in where they need to step in to support you. Always here to inspire you. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.